brute force might be the final straw, but obviously not.
Yeah, let me brute force it.
Hercule, get over there. Use your strength.
Yeah, I'm a little tired right now. A little soldier shoulder injury. I've been drinking. That's my excuse.
You understand that?
Yes. I think there's one like that at 1 o'clock tonight, actually. You guys, they keep telling me there's gonna be a lot of fun. Apparently on the schedule, it's literally all in black. It doesn't have anything, it's just a blacked out space on the schedule. And apparently it's like the panel of debauchery or something. Kimberly's? I don't know, I just made that up, so I don't know. Yes, okay, well, we should all go. She's good at the debauch? Oh, that's nice. That's good. Excellent. Well, I guess we should get things started, ladies. I myself, this is the voice acting panel, Q&A, meet voice actors, ask us questions, all kinds of fun stuff. My name's Chris Rager. I was in shows like Dragon Ball Z, video games like Borderlands 2, blah, 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 blah. On to my left here.
I'm a person to his left.
Yeah.
I'm Krystal LaPorte. I'm a voice actress with Sentai Filmworks. I've been in Beyond the Boundary, Black Bullet, Parasite, Akame ga Kill, and then there's someone to my right who's already talked to his right. Yeah.
They have the mic over there. This is our mic. That's your mic.
All right. Yeah, this is the Austin mic because Austin's right here.
Oh, y'all are in Austin?
Yeah.
You're Houston. I'm Dallas. We're just a bunch of Texas brats.
I know. we're the hippie town over here. My name's Caitlynn French. You've probably heard me in Girls and Panther, No Game, No Life, Beyond the Boundary, Black Bullet, Maria Holic, so on and so forth. And hi.
Hi, I'm Lesley Pedersen, and I work a lot with Sentai as well in Houston. I moved to Austin. I miss them. I'm not there as much as I used to be, but let's see, I was Alphard and Kanan, and a lot of older ones because I'm old. Gilgamesh was my first favorite because that was my first villain. What else? Penny Pony Dash is another huge favorite of mine. It's crazy silliness. I'm blanking out, but those are just a few amazing things that I've done with my voice.
All right, so yeah, let's give it up for these guys, huh? Let's hear it for them. You know, in tradition with a Q&A, we will go to the questions, which comes from you people, you fine people. Give yourselves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it from you guys. And let's see what we got, because honestly, this will end quickly if no one raises their hand, or you know, I'll just throw this mic down. We'll just walk out if you don't have questions. Right, I'm hungry. Yes, you in the back with your hand up.
How did you get started in this?
How did I get started? We'll all tell our origin stories, if you will.
Yes, all day.
Oh. Krystal, you start.
Someone got pregnant. I'm not even kidding. I did adaptive lyricism for the studio. I did the English lyrics for AKB, and then one day when I had gotten in, there was you know Caitlynn, right? Caitlynn? Do you know Caitlynn? No. Okay. She was pregnant and she was doing 3 roles in Log Horizon, Diabolic Lovers, and Hokkenden. And she had gone into labor, and they needed someone who could sound like a little boy, but recording was finishing soon, and I was alive and in there. So, yeah, and then because she had 3 different bookings, I got to be heard by all of the directors at Sentai in like a day. So then after that, Kyle Jones used me in Muv Love and Alternative Total Eclipse as Yui Takamura, which doesn't sound like a little boy, so I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened, and then I just kept doing it. So, yeah.
Awesome, yeah. I myself, I had a buddy of mine, I've been doing comedy in Dallas for a long time. We were called Section 8 Comedy. One of those gentlemen in that comedy troupe with me was Mike McFarland, who some of you may have met at other conventions. He's kind of a jerk. Anyway, he's not a very cool guy. No, he's a great guy. Plays Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Z, amongst other characters. And he was like, hey, you guys need to come out to Fort Worth, Texas. They're making cartoons out there. And I had no idea, so I went out. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is, what I called when I was a kid, Japanimation. There were other shows that I liked and stuff. And I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. But Hercule was on the docket that day, as it were. And I gave it my best shot. I got the part, and I've been doing it ever since. So. Yeah! Whoa! Turn that down. Okay.
So I was big into theater, like a lot of people get their start. I lived in Kansas, which if you know anything about Kansas, there's really not a lot in Kansas. So I was starting to explore other places via conventions just because honestly, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have anime conventions in Kansas because it's super conservative. They weren't really established. So going through that circuit, I met with an entertainment group and I hopped on board and ended up doing entertainment at conventions. And we would do like live character performances, and that's how I met Chris Ayers. Well, we became friends over like a course of like 3 years of just running into each other. And when I graduated from college, I moved down and he's like, you're into theater and improv, right? I'm like, yeah. Like, how do you feel about driving over to Houston? Would you be willing to do that to do an audition? I'm like, yes. And he hasn't kicked me out of the booth yet, so I guess I'm doing something right.
Okay, my story's kind of long and boring, but so I'm gonna make it short and fantastic. Let's see. So I haven't had a ton of roles on camera or in the booth, but one of my biggest roles when I was in my 20s was on the Power Rangers. I played a juice bar girl for several episodes of a couple of seasons. And I was the Gold Ranger's love interest. It was a good time. But anyway, my favorite thing to do on that show, which I've never done, was go in the booth and overdub my stuff that the sound didn't work out so well because we were outdoors or whatever. And I just loved being in the booth and not being in front of a camera. And I didn't have to have a makeup artist at my face or look pretty or anything. You could just be yourself and be weird. And then I knew when I moved back to Texas that ADV at the time, which is now Sentai, was there, and I knew a couple friends that kind of knew somebody, and I'd be like, hey man, can you get me an audition? And it never happened. And then I was at a random concert because I'm a rocker chick, and so I was seeing a friend's band. And some dude came up to me, and it was Stephen Foster, who was a director, producer over there at ADV at the time. He was like, hey, and said all these really great things, and he's amazing, if you don't know who that is. And she likes him, that's my daughter. He was like, hey, so you were on the Power Rangers? And I was like, oh, Jesus, who put you up to this? Because I thought it was like a friend making fun of me, because whatever. And anyways, he was like, hey, you should come down and audition. And I was like, finally, I mean, I have to go to a rock show at a dive bar to get an audition. I've been asking, friends to get me in there. Anyway, I finally got in and did some duck voices, I think, and some Walla, and slowly got bigger roles and loved every second of it, especially the villain girls. I don't know why. I don't have the sweet high range voice like this one over here. I am so jealous of those little girl voices. I have that the low voice, and I finally found out that villains have low voices. I can make that happen. Anyways, I'll shut up now. I told you it was a long story.
Right. More questions, and go. Okay, we're out of here. Peace. This is over. Yes, you, sir.
What would you guys, if you could voice any character across any anime, what would you voice and why?
Huh. How about you go?
I want to be Hercule.
You do? I would, man, what, I really, honestly, there was a show called Panty and Stocking. Anyone watch that? I really wanted to be Garter. Like, really bad. And some jerk named Chris Sabat took the part. Whatever, no talent hack he is. And I'm kidding, obviously. Some of you must know who Chris Sabat is, I hope. So yeah, I really wanted that part, but I didn't get it. And, well, I'm still upset about it. That's it.
There's a show called Black Rock Shooter that has not been licensed by anybody, anywhere, and has never made it to America thus far, except for like 6 months. Yeah, there is a character called Chariot, and the girl, she goes from this quiet innocent to almost completely psycho, and I haven't gotten to play a psycho character at all because, again, I have a high, sweet voice, so no one lets me be cray cray. I'm like, I know.
Wow, that's a tough question. And I'm still learning about anime, and you guys got to tell me what I should watch. But the ones that I've paid a lot of attention, or gotten into and watched all of them and become addicted. I guess I've heard Krystal telling a story about how she gets a role and then gets addicted to that show, and so that's kind of how it happens with me. So I think Gilgamesh, it was my first one I think to fall in love with, just because it was dark and my character was mean. But there was another lady in that show called the Countess, and she was a badass, and I kind of wanted to be her even more than my badass. So I'll go with her because that's what's coming to mind.
All right, more questions. Okay, man, these are threats. I'm gonna go in the back and then we're gonna make our way up. We'll go 1, 2, 3 like that. So in the back, yes, you sir.
If someone wanted
You shut up out there, we're doing stuff in here. I'm sorry I yelled at you.
You can come say hi.
All right, yes, go ahead, sir.
Say if you want to, or one of your children want to get involved as being a voice actor, what do we need to do to try to do that? Do we have to move down to Fort Worth? Is there other anime houses around the country, or is it all just there?
In my experience, your 3 markets for that are Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, and New York.
Vancouver a little bit too.
There's some going on in Vancouver these days.
I think a little bit still.
A little bit. Still, like, did I not know that there was beforehand?
It seemed to die off for a while at least.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
I haven't been up to the Vancouver just yet, but I've been to all 3 of those other ones. And so yeah, I mean, basically, if you're wanting to start dubbing anime, I say, well, don't just put yourself in that one area. Have a broad range of things that you could do. At the end of the day, voice acting consists of lots of things, not just anime, not just video games, but there's commercials and industrials and books on tape and the list goes on. I'm just not thinking it, but I mean, there's a lot of work out there, regionally, nationally, in all aspects. Because honestly, if you just want to go and be an anime dub artist, as it were, you're gonna die hungry. Because you're not gonna make a living at it. At least I don't think you will. If you are, then hell, tell me how you did that, because I would like to know what I did wrong. But so yeah, that's kind of my advice. You would have to move, definitely. Ladies?
You kind of covered it on voice acting isn't just dubbing anime. There's so many avenues of it, and especially living location-wise is very important, and that's what you're going to get depending wherever. Krystal mentioned earlier that Chicago's a big commercial hub for stuff like that, and building your resume in any way with any sort of acting experience can only help you get better. If you're set on doing just one thing, you're going to go in with a very empty resume. And I've least with theater and some with voice acting, people like looking at well, if we put you in the booth, what experience do you have? So they're gonna look at that, in my opinion. At least That's what I've noticed. So practicing not only acting, improv, your commercial reading, expand on all of that. Make yourself a complete multifaceted person in every way, and then try out everything. You might find out you like other things too. So,
One thing that I kind of really loved about stage work is that even if you're an actor, you're not just going to be an actor. You're going to work on costumes, you're going to work on tech, you might help out with the sound, and you might find something that you love 110% more than acting, and you might be a sound engineer. Everyone needs those, even the anime industry. And even if you're an actor, you might find that you love stage. I think that if you want to act, go and do it, but just because you don't live in a city that is a hub for anime acting, don't let that stop you, because it is fun, it is wonderful, and you meet some of the best people that you're ever going to meet that you stay friends with for life. So everything everyone else said is true, but even if you don't want to, go and do it, because in anime you don't get to wear cool costumes. The dresses that you wear on stage won't even fit in the booth. It's a shame.
Okay, I'll just add because I feel like I should. I would say also, if someone's just starting out, get in any kind of class you can to like explore all those avenues. You may find a local voiceover class, you may find a local theater group. The first time I jumped into a little theater group was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I love that, and every time I do stage work, or any really acting work, I question why I chose this path, because I want to throw up before. But it's just, yeah, there's, like she said, there's so many different ways to just get inspired, and you just never know what's going to hit you, and you'll make the best of friends. Yeah, you'll get this little community of crazy people, which clearly you like already. So yeah, and just go for it, and don't let anybody deter you from something you're into. Okay? You listening to me, kids? Go for it.
Definitely.
All right.
I just wanted to cap that up. I mean, really, doing a play and getting into some theater environment and stuff like that, there is nothing more awesome than the bonding experience that it takes to do a theatrical play that takes place amongst the director and the actors and the tech crew and stuff like that. You see so much of these people, it becomes this family, and you have fights and all that. I mean, it's a passionate group of people trying to put this thing together, and you do, and it's just satisfying. And putting on a play is really for me, one of the most satisfying things you can experience, just because of the bonding experience that takes place with everyone there. So do that. That's my advice. What else? More questions, please. Actually, I went to that guy. We had a question here in the middle, in the yellow here. Yes, didn't you have a question, or have you forgotten it? Oh, it was answered now. Okay. And then I was moving this way, thusly, to someone here. Yes, you, sir. Yep. Yes, and then we'll come back over here. Take care. We still love you. Bye-bye now. Not you, though. No, I'm kidding. All right, go. I'm sorry. You, sir. Yes.
That's what I asked you guys. One thing, do you guys have a favorite band yourselves? And then if you had, if your character had a favorite band, that could be any character you wanted, what would their favorite band be? Or favorite song?
Okay, I'll start because you know me. I already answered this question for you via Twitter, which is Journey, Don't Stop Believing for me, because it's just my motto. Another thing, kids, don't stop believing, okay? Don't do it. Don't stop. But let's go with...
And hold on to that feeling.
what he said. And for you, Aaron, I'll say Aaron got me here to this convention. He let them know he liked me to come, and because somebody canceled, that's why I'm here. So he's my manager and my new favorite person, aside from my children and my husband, of course. Anyways, so we'll go with her, and her favorite band would be Pantera.
Pantera?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome choice.
And her favorite song would be Mouth of War.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
I noticed you picked the Texas band.
I have to
pick a favorite band, I
like
like
both.
so much music that it's hard to even, like, I guess right now I've kind of been on a Xandria kick. They're symphonic metal. Them and Amaranth. Amaranth is more pop. It's the metal pop synth. Definitely really love them. They've kind of been on my playlist recently, and Xandria's done this cover of Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love that I've just been like overplaying constantly. But so that's one of my areas, and I go like on the complete opposite spectrum, and I'll have like J-pop and stuff. But a character's favorite song, trying to think of a good like a lot of like little girls, and little girls are kind of like all over the place. So I'm like, well, what was right? I don't know. Shiro is so, I don't care about everything. I don't know, Shiro's probably that person who listens to a lot of dubstep. If you listen to No Game No Life, it sounds like the entire background music is a giant dubstep rave happening. I think I started actually like pulling out glow sticks and just dancing around in the booth while waiting, while they were syncing lines. They were going, and I was just kind of unsing. So it's kind of where I think she'd end up sitting.
All right, I was trying to mentally replay what's in my iPod because mine is mostly singers and movie soundtracks, so it's a hodgepodge, but for bands, I'd say it's probably tied between the Beatles and Oingo Boingo for me. And then for a character, I know, I'm sorry.
No, that's just obscure. I like Oingo Boingo.
Oh, good. And then I think for a character, I'm gonna do Kohina from Black Bullet. And I would go with the Electric Lights Orchestra just because I want to picture her going on a murder spree to Mr. Blue Skies. And that's about it.
Awesome.
My favorite band or bands, definitely the Beatles is in that top 3 or 4. Rush, I'm a huge Rush fan. And I'll say though, recently I've been on a Mumford & Sons kick lately. I've been listening to a lot of them, I'm not sure why. That Believe song I really like. I believe, sorry, I can break it through. I believe in something. I can't remember the words. So, I don't listen to the words a lot, that's the thing. And then for Mr. Satan, I now can't think of him. I played a little video earlier today, or they played it for me. It's the LMFAO's, girl, look at that body. I work out, sexy, and I know it. Yes. So I think that I can't think of a song now unless when I hear that song, I think of Hercule now. Is what I think. And then I was trying to think of like Mr. Torque. He has his own kind of like guitar solo thing that he does in the game and stuff. But it would definitely be like some obscure like Molly Hatchet. Or something like that. That's what I think. Like Dokken or Molly Hatchet. Anyway, that's what I got. All right, give it up for these guys. Come on. We're spilling our hearts for you people. Right? All right, now there was another question over here somewhere. Oh, not your mom? No, you can't. Where? Over here? Okay, yes, over here, sir. Yes, you, sir.
What was your most difficult role and for what reason?
I think for me, just real quick, it probably have been Torque, and that's just because, like, I scream every single line, like literally scream, and so that took a lot out of me, and I would always feel bad for the person who had to use those headphones after me. Because I was like, man, don't you guys, honestly, and I remember mentioning this one time, and then when I went back in the booth the next time, they literally had these like little doilies for the ear things, and I tell you, I put them on, I had that thing, I sweat right through those things. I was like, this is just worse, it's making it worse. It's hotter now in my head. So it'd be a lot of like head pulsing, throbbing afterwards, sore throat, and like just overall tired exhaustion from screaming, but it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. So that guy, and because of that.
I would say that mine was probably Yui Goido from The World God Only Knows, because she had an alter ego. They basically become goddesses that are inhabiting their body, so you needed a completely different voice. And this is my voice, and so I had to try to find something that sounded completely different because they were two completely different characters. And so I did, I ended up going with one in my lower register and then one in my normal register, but then just changed the way that I shape my mouth. And I don't know if anyone gets this, but when people talk, everyone has like a letter of the alphabet that they sound like, kind of. So I changed mine to R, which means that your palate is constantly held like you're saying the letter R. And that changed it up a lot, but it was like head games. It's like, does this sound similar?
Right, I would mess with you.
You're adorable, by the way. Did I say that?
So, I'm gonna give you 3 different instances of different kinds of difficult. World God Only Knows, I also played a goddess in it. But I also played, Volcanis, and her human side. And then I played this little doll she possessed, so I went between 3 ranges, and jumping back and forth was pretty rough. But alter egos I actually really like doing. I don't know why. Emotionally, the hardest show I have done is called Sunday Without God. And that is a show where I play the center character, Austin. And essentially I broke down crying 3 different times in the booth, just because what the show puts this little girl through. She's a 12-year-old who loses so much and goes through so much that when you're in character like that, it's really hard not to just let it out in the middle of a crying scene, which I felt really bad. Cause I'm like, Kyle, I need a hug, but you're not a huggy person. Oh gosh. Because when I'm working with Chris Ayers, he'll come in afterwards, he'll let me out, he'll give me a hug, we'll have a moment, I'm like, okay, I'm good, I can go back in. But it's Kyle, and it was like my second time working with him, and I'm like, this is so awkward, I'm crying in front of a person I barely know. But then, just recording-wise, there's a show called Maria Holic, and I do a lot of monotone voices, where my voice kind of sits in this range and it doesn't really move, and I'll say everything that doesn't move off of this. This isn't hard, but Matsurika's vocabulary and the terrible things she is saying at the speed she is saying them was incredibly difficult to do. So that's, those are kind of my 3 roles that I had the biggest challenges with.
Okay, let's see. This is a tough one because more for me is every role I've ever had, even playing the duck bird or whatever it was, I cursed myself incessantly. I was just like, it was terrible. Let's do it again. Alphard was it really was like the role I cared about the most, I would say, just because I felt, I don't know, it was just kind of a little magical role for me because I just felt comfortable and so, I don't want to say connected because she's so mean and kills people, but I just felt, I really liked her. She dressed so cool and she was, I was just like, man, alter ego kind of stuff. So I really wanted to do well, so that kind of stuff, was just, but what's the hardest, and let's see if this goes for you guys. Do you ever get a character or just that has one line, or your character has one line or one word? Just to say one word sometimes is like the hardest, that will take me longer than a speech, right? Because a speech, you have emotion behind it on all different levels, but to say one stupid word, like stupid. I don't know, you just feel like, you're like, I don't know, stop yelling at me, Steven, But yeah, one word sometimes is worse than a soliloquy. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, that's my story, I'm sticking to it.
All right. Did we have a question in the back? Yes. Rainbow hat. Yes.
Are you polylingual? And if you are, what do you speak? And does your company require you to speak it?
I learned Elvish when I was in 6th grade, but I'm really not sure that counts. That was not a requirement. I was just really socially awkward.
What was the question again?
Are you polylingual?
Oh,
And does it require you?
Does our job require us?
That language.
I don't speak any other language outside English and fantasy languages, so obviously Japanese is not a requirement for what I have been doing. It'd be really helpful if I was bilingual, at least in Spanish in Texas. It really would, but I just don't pick up languages that apparently exist very well.
yeah, I know like English and Spanglish. And that's pretty much, I worked in the restaurant business for many, many years, and you know, you pick up a fair amount of Spanish there. Mostly how to like cuss at each other, call each other bad names and say horrible things about each other's mothers. But yeah, that's it. No, I don't know any other languages, unfortunately.
Took 4 years of Spanish in high school and 4 years of Italian in college, and now I don't remember which is which, so I learned how to be stupid in 2 countries.
They're kind of similar though, a little bit. There are some similarities, you know, because I noticed I worked in an Italian restaurant, and the guy there spoke Italian, like the owner of the restaurant, but he was still able to communicate with the Hispanic cooks and things like that in like a weird way. I'm like, wait a minute, you're speaking Italian right now. He's like, yeah, trust me, they understand it better than English sometimes.
I got nothing, yo no sé.
Sorry to disappoint you in our lack of polylingualness.
Hey, it makes it better.
Are you polylingual?
No.
No?
It just makes me feel better.
Oh, right.
I went to school in Kansas. We had German, Spanish, and French. That's all we were ever offered. You don't get the extension of here's all these cool languages. And then I went to college in Kansas, and they're like, oh, here's Latin. They're giving us a dead language. And it just was not, there was nothing that appealed to me in the language studies.
Yes.
Are you still able to speak Elvish?
Come on, bust out some Elvish, yo.
Vendo y me con van. That is, how are you well met?
How are you? Well met. Huh.
That was my Elvish.
Voulez-vous, voulez-vous coucher au revoir?
It does roll off.
Can you say that in Elvish?
No, because that's French. I can't even get that.
Oh. I think it was dirty. Right.
I can't do it fluently anymore.
Oh.
I only remember like slight words.
Isn't there an app?
I
Speak into it, and it gives you the Elvis. I have one
would
that's
have felt
Yoda.
so more connected to people.
You have one that you can talk into it, and it'll give you back what Yoda would say. Just so you know.
Noted, I need an Elvish app now. Someone get on that.
Right? There's got to be one. There's no doubt. In fact, I bet in Google Translate they have Elvish as an
I
option.
think they have Klingon for certain.
Do they? That's totally weird.
Classes in Klingon, which is ridiculous.
They're what? Classes? Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, like people at college is like, oh, here's a class in Klingon. What?
You taking this an elective?
Apparently.
Right? Oh, the nerds. I love you guys. I'm one of you. I love me, I guess. Anyway, this is turning weird. Keep more questions, please. In the back, yes.
What are all of your guys' favorite genres?
Favorite genres of film, music,
Anime.
It's not really, there's not a lot of it, but I love horror. Everything.
What do y'all guys got?
Again, about with picking one genre is really hard for me, but I really enjoy the fantasy modern day crossovers that happen a lot. especially with shows like Gage or even Monster Musume has that a little bit where you're adding fantasy elements into our world for the first time and chaos just breaks out. And I think it's hilarious.
I like those ones where the high school kids fight each other with school supplies. There's a lot. Does that happen in that? I don't think that happens in that. They play baseball in that.
Get into Monster?
No. My favorite. I don't watch a whole lot of anime. I've dubbed many genres of anime, and sometimes I have to ask, like, what the hell is this show about? It just makes no sense at all. But just because I like the term, I'm gonna say fan service.
That's why.
I know it's dirty. I just like that. Is it dirty? Oh. Yes, I'm sorry, Grandma. It's going to be a long explanation. Just know that.
I really like the wacky, crazy stuff, but I'm gonna still go with. I don't know what you would call the genre. I guess the darker stuff. Yeah, the darker stuff. Yeah, I like the darker stuff that's dark. I don't know, I really liked doing Kanan and Le Chevalier, is that how you say that? I don't know, kind of...
Sort of those like horror noir kind of stuff?
Yeah, is that what you said?
I just made that up.
I like that, horror noir. It's not quite, I don't know. Obviously I don't know how to define a genre, but you know what I'm trying to say, right, kids?
What is your favorite genre of anime, young lady?
Probably cute stuff.
What is that? Explain that to me.
Cute stuff. She loves cute stuff.
Cute stuff, like what? Like Hetalia? Is that cute? I don't know. They go all chibi sometimes. Huh?
Early romance anime with some violence in them.
Girly romance anime with some violence anime. What would be your favorite one of those?
Probably one I just read manga for, Heart no Kuni no Alice.
Okay. All right. I'm not in that, I don't think, yet. But I want to be. I'm gonna be. I played a big pink monster thing in Blood Sea once.
It's got fan service in it.
Does it? That was a big pink misty monster thing that like took over a train or something. I don't remember. I'm sure I was drinking when I was doing the session. Just kidding.
Turned into thunder.
That's my excuse for everything. When I don't know something, I'm like, I'm drinking. I've been drinking. More questions. What are we good on time? How many more questions can we even take? Because it is 6:41. We got 20 more minutes of questions, people.
Yes.
Y'all need to step up. Let's do this. All right, it's over. All right. Yes, in the front.
Touch your hands.
What was your most fun role to do?
Go and go.
Okay, my best friend. My favorite role was Hibiki Watanu in Panty Pony Dash. OMG, she was so much fun to play. So much fun. She talked kind of like this sometimes. She was really hyper. And she's a reporter, reporting on stupid stuff like an open potato chip bag. I mean, love her. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
I have to answer with Kuriha Sakamachi from Mayochiki because, again, that let me let out. I recorded it when WrestleMania 30 happened, so Brock Lesnar had just ended the Undertaker streak, and our sound guy, Ricardo, watches WrestleMania also. He watches wrestling. So I go into the booth, still completely butthurt about the whole Brock Lesnar got to win and Undertaker's amazing streak. If you don't know, Undertaker had a streak of never losing at WrestleMania. So it was a big deal that he lost. Like for 20 years, he's never lost. So that happened. And Ricardo, I was really amped up on sugar because the role was super hyper. I had Jessica Cavello over the day before because I really wanted to hear someone talk fast. So I was doing like a mini Jessica Cavello impression going in there. And then that jerk starts going, hey, how do you feel about this? And poking every possible button he could. So he'd get me on an angry streak in the middle of session, and then we'd start recording. So my voice was going like lightning fast, like kind of like it is right now. And that's how we recorded Curry Han. I got to scream doing like wrestling moves, like, oh, I got to put someone into Texas Cloverleaf, or I got to yell that I was doing a sharpshooter like Bret Hart was. So that was really exciting because, again, I'm a giant pro wrestling fan. So yeah. Also, because she's the one super energetic character I've played. All my other characters are super low-key, super quiet, cute, and then I got to play an absolute nutcase, so that was really fun.
I just, now that you keep talking about wrestling, I keep thinking of wrestlers that I like. Remember Brutus the Barber Beefcake?
Yes!
Right? Brutus the Barber Beefcake? Come on. Junkyard Dog.
Yeah.
Damn. You said you were married, huh? Right?
Go in there.
Brutus the Barber. Oh, George the Animal Steel.
Yes.
He used to eat the turnbuckles. That was the best. He was like this bald, just stupid looking mess of a human, and he would eat the turnbuckles. He was awesome.
I can't remember his name. The guy had his own face. Hannah is like right on his.
Who? Oh, Rick Rude.
Rick Rude, yes.
Rick Rude, yes.
He had his
Ravishing Rick Rude. What a dick that guy was.
I thought it was hilarious that he had his face on his tights, on his crotch.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
Yes. That's entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. What was the question again? Oh, I mean, obviously Hercule and Torg were super fun, and I had a lot of fun. I think when I like to answer this question now, I'd like to think of like more recent roles, and I think the more recent role that I've had the most fun on, it was probably, probably the principal from Assassination Classroom, because I didn't have to yell, I had to be cool and sinister, you know, try to decimate the E-class, and I don't know, I just like that whole overall role of me sort of taking on to make sure the E-class stays down, the other kids stay up, and it's just sinister and bad, and I treat my son like crap, and it's just fun to do. Yeah, it's fun to play the jerk.
Play the jerk.
Shots fired.
I like you even more now.
I would have to say that my favorite was Kohina from Black Bullet, because I got to speak in a pitch that only dogs could hear, and it was 2.5 hours of just screaming, yelling, and asking Jay Hickman permission to kill people in various states of emotion. That was it. Just got to act like my mother.
And you're welcome. Yes, purple rainbow hat in the back.
Tell us something deep.
Rainbow hat in the back. Oh, you meant like emotionally deep.
Whatever.
The ocean's deep.
Yeah. Listen, man. Life is full of happy things, sad things, and stupid things.
Whoa.
And sometimes weird things. And then, you know, you die. So like, think about that, man. That's all I don't know. Anyone else?
Really wanted Cheetos today. And then I found a bag. So I ate 'em.
Living life.
Happy.
Living life for the fullest. I got nothing deep. I'm a shallow, black-hearted person, so no.
That's hot.
I got nothing either. Go Rockets.
Hospital's fun. You're not giving them anything.
of sports at an anime?
Go sports.
Hey, you never know.
Hey, she said Rocket. That could be Team Rocket.
Yeah, your child said you could have talked about me, Mom.
That's what my
And the inspiration I have brought into your life, and the joy.
Talk about There's a girl.
Yes, there is a girl over there, and she is wonderful, and you have a question.
What's your favorite type of character to play?
Villains, every time, hands down. Hate being the good guy.
Same here. Villains, all inspired by my daughter.
You wanted her to talk about you. Yeah.
Honestly, because I'm cast as them all the time as little girls. I play 12-year-old. Unfortunately, I play a lot of brother complex little girls, which is a little awkward. But it happens a lot. It's not my favorite, but it's a thing. And I think I'm just kind of used to it now. Is admitting it the first step?
That one went deep.
Yeah, so primarily little girls.
I changed my mind. My favorite characters to voice are little girls, too.
I want to be in a show with you, and we be besties.
And it only happens like at my house. Anyway, it's weird. Keep it going.
I think my favorite type is, well, it depends on what I recorded last, because that means I got paid.
Boom, and drop the mic.
Please no!
I wasn't really going to.
That guy screams.
Breathe. I will not do that, sir. Relax. Breathe. It's all pantomime. And yes, you young lady here in the front. Yes.
Which character of the opposite gender would you most want to play?
A character of the opposite gender. I did play a cross-dresser in something. High School DxD. That's what it was. His name was Melvin or something? Marvin? Melvin? Milton! Milton, that's what it was. It's sort of, he was the big husky guy. Big guy. He was wearing, I think, like a maid cat outfit or something like that. But a female character, I don't know, I'd like to be like, I can only relate to the shows that I've been on, the characters of women I would know. Like, Chi-Chi, right? Isn't she kind of like a badass and give him a hard time? I'd want to be Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
That's who I'd be, yeah. He's like, you can play that part, sir. You can do it. I believe in you.
I feel bad taking it away from David Wald, who did an amazing job, but there is a show called Nobunaga the Fool, and it's a hodgepodge of every character ever known in history, and they're all fighting, and I want to be Leonardo da Vinci. He was like a psychic who could play the tuba. He was awesome.
That is cool. He probably made that tuba too, you know? Like it was a Da Vinci tuba.
There's a show called Nyakaru, Crawling with Love. It's a anime that Japan doesn't know what Lovecraft is, apparently, or it does and likes to do. It takes what is Lovecraft, it's got tentacles and everything, and apparently it decides to fan service it at some point, because that's what Japan does. Japan Lovecraft up, which is in itself odd, but they made one of my favorite characters in Lovecraft lore, the King in Yellow, Hoster. He's like this tiny little boy who everyone mistakes for a girl all the time. And I'd honestly just want to be him because that's probably the only boy I could ever be cast as, because I do not have a little boy voice at all.
That barely counts.
Huh?
That barely counts.
He is still a boy. He does not identify as female, thus he is still a boy. And what?
He's gender fluid.
He just looks pretty. Lots of anime characters look pretty. I mean, I can.
None of my anime characters have ever been pretty.
I said what? I didn't say all. I mean, I could want to voice Hercules. Scorpio, but I'll never sound like Hulk Hogan meets Randy Savage. As much as I want.
I'm very glad for that.
That'd be really disconcerting.
Right, and I'd be out of a job.
Is it my turn? Okay, there's so many that I can't think of the name of, but there's a show I did called Yan Koi, and I played a character named Kaede, who was kooky chick, loved her too. But the dude that was in love with her, who I can't think of his name, it's escaping me right now because people are staring at me, but he was like in love with her, but allergic to cats, and she always had cats. So he's always sneezing and screaming and freaking out, and I don't know, it's endearing. So I'd like to play that too.
More questions?
I see one. Hand in front, hand in back.
Wait, okay, we're gonna go you and then we'll go to the back. Yes, go, you. Don't be nervous now. This better be good. Go ahead.
Back nervous too?
Breathe.
What's the question, Mom?
Did your parents ever support you?
What was the question?
Thank you, Mom, for spending years of paychecks on my Dragon Ball Z collection, and it is still in the corner of my room, and I appreciate you wholeheartedly for supporting me through my life in theater and otherwise.
My mom always used to say this to me when I would come home from after school and I would sit in front of the TV or bust out my Atari. My mom would say this, Chris, all these cartoons and video games are never going to amount to anything. And, well, she was wrong. But no, my mom throughout my life, my father as well, have always been very supportive, as I'm sure your mother has. And yeah, no, I come from a family of creative people, musicians and artists and things like that. So that was always definitely like, oh yeah, well, you want to. My parents, this is what my parents told me. They did not want me to be a musician when I grew older. You know, I played piano and bass, and I was a bassoon player, and played in symphonies and things like that. And they were like, don't be a musician. So I was like, all right, I'll be an actor. And they left. So.
So my mom was kind of stage mom. So yeah, she was pretty supportive. And my dad was at the bar, so take that as you will.
Supporting that bar.
I had awesome, I still have awesome supportive parents. They supported every,
Go grandma and grandpa.
what she said. They supported every mistake I ever made, and there were plenty. And now I'm a mom, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's right.
And I have an entertaining daughter.
Cool.
I know, she's like the coolest kid.
Yeah,
Oh my God. I'm just gonna let her take over now. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so now I'm a mom and I realize what great parents my parents were, because I realize how important it is to support your kiddos and let them do what they want. Not everything, but almost everything. And drop the mic.
Oh, more questions in the back.
In the back.
Rainbow hat.
No.
No?
Black jacket.
I don't have my contacts in. Black jacket. In the back, black jacket.
So if you were to play a character that was a non-anime character, you could voice it from anything, who would it be?
A non-anime character? Who would I voice, or who would what we would voice?
What voice? What series would you want to be in?
Gosh. Man, I don't know. It's so much pressure. I wanted to be Mr. T in the A-Team when I was a kid. He'd be like, you know, don't be a fool, stay in school. You know, set a goal, achieve, believe, set a goal, goal tended. I don't know. So yeah, Mr. T, I wanted to be Mr. T. I love Mr. T. Oh, and Pee Wee Herman. I still am a massive Pee Wee Herman junkie fan. Love Paul Rubens. Yeah. Hamburger. He was in a Cheech and Chong movie where he just said hamburger a bunch of times. It was really funny. Yeah, so them.
I want to die in a B horror film. But I want it to be disgusting. But off screen, the other thing that I really wanted to do was Titania in the Antebellum era. I'm so serious about this. I want to be Titania in an Antebellum era version of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And that'd be cool. Puck would, the heroes would be Antebellum Southerners, and then the fairies would be based off of Native American folklore. Puck would be a coyote. You've got the bear and the dove. It would be awesome.
I want to be Lysander. That's bottom. Yeah.
Oh.
Shame. Language. Cuts jar. $1 in the cuts jar.
It's not after 10 yet. I guess if Mortal Kombat. I really want to be in Mortal Kombat. Really bad. I don't even care. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So NetherRealm, please.
Sonya.
I wanted to be Sonya Blade when I grew up.
I just like saying that. Sonya.
I had that song on repeat in my car for so long during high school, just playing the Mortal Kombat theme before walking into high school. It's very empowering.
Johnny Cage. Finish him.
That is too awesome.
I have a couple answers. One is anything, even an extra role in Star Wars of any kind.
Yes. I changed my answer.
Just like the stormtrooper getting choked out on the side as Darth Vader walks by. Anything. And then, has anyone seen Better Call Saul? I want to be Slippin' Jimmy real bad. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's on AMC, I think. It's a Breaking Bad spinoff. I am not a spokesperson for them, but it's an amazing show. It's the character Saul from Breaking Bad, I don't know. It's his backstory.
It's the lawyers, the prequel.
It's the prequel, and it's such good stuff, you guys.
Saul Goodman.
His character's amazing.
Saul Goodman.
Anyway, that's it.
That's a great one. You said you were married, right?
Sorry.
That's terrible. Star Wars fan too, that's craziness.
Panel's over.
I don't know, what time are we at, ladies and gentlemen? It is 7:01. Guys, it's over, man. We didn't even know it. Give yourselves up, give yourselves a round of applause. The fans are why we're here, guys. Thank you for having us. And we got, what do we got?
The Life Bites panel, Life Bites Bite Back panel is next.
Right, and then what other panels you guys have? Anything else today?
In the squared circle tonight at 8 with me. Get to talk, know me. If you don't know who I am, come say hi. I won't body slam you or anything. I probably can't. I'm really tiny. I'll ask him to do it.
I really want you to body slam me now. I don't know why. Anyone else? Any panels later?
Hey, thanks you guys. Great questions.
There's a blacked out panel. Yeah, it was a good question. There's a blacked out panel on the schedule. I think we're going to try to attend. Just because it's blacked out and I want to be there. But get out of here. Go on. We got more stuff. Go have fun, kids. Stay off my lawn.